a incredible Monday. I didn't watch the Super Bowl yesterday because I'm focusing on my work. Plus, uh, when I do go to Super Bowl parties, I really just go there for the networking and the food, typically. And I'm not getting out right now. I'm focusing on building a business. And sometimes I think people that put so much focus on these players and these teams, it makes me wonder why they put so much energy into athletes and other people and not themselves. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyway, today I have an episode for the women. All right. Why do so many women feel lost, dependent, and disconnected from their confidence despite having faith? Okay, you might have faith, maybe you've lost some faith, but you still might be lost or dependent. Okay, you're not feeling strong and empowered. In today's Wake the Fuck Up Daily episode, we explore ancient wisdom from the Book of Enoch. How many of you are familiar with the Book of Enoch? Put it in the comments. To uncover a powerful truth, the inner order precedes freedom, and ignoring what you already know leads to dependence, confusion, and collapse. This is going to be straight fire. Okay, this might be some things that you never learned in church. Okay, they left this book out of the Bible. Why? Kind of interesting, right? So we're going to talk about it. This episode is for women who feel stuck, silent, or unsure of themselves and are ready to reclaim their confidence, discernment, and responsibility the way Yahweh intended, how he created you, okay? Today, I want to speak directly to women who feel lost, dependent, disconnected from their confidence, unsure why they don't trust themselves anymore. This isn't because you lack faith. Maybe you do, okay? Tell me in the comments, do you have faith? It's often because you've been trained to ignore what you already know. Wouldn't that be a crazy thought that everything that you need is already in you? Wow. And you are a creator, just like our creator? Wow. I think people forgot that. You're ignoring that. All right. Ancient wisdom warned us about this long before modern systems even existed. Okay. Let's talk about the inner order versus the outer confirmation. Okay. This is in the Book of Enoch. Ancient insight. In the Book of Enoch, wisdom is not described as hidden knowledge reserved for elites. Okay, I want you to remember something. The people that you see in power, the elites, whoever, I want you to know that they put their pants on the same way you do. Okay? Don't ever forget that. Okay, it is described as given. Okay, this is the hidden knowledge. You think it's hidden and it's only reserved for the elites. No, it was given to you too. But we have people that have forgotten to use it. In 1 Enoch 1, 2 through 3, wisdom is granted so people may see, discern, and understand. In 1 Enoch 5, 1 through 3, it says, creation reflects divine order, while humanity is judged for ignoring it. What does that tell us? Do you know something to be true, and you are choosing to ignore it? Did you know that if you are choosing to ignore it, you will be judged and looked at as if you were part of it? Okay? Think about that for a minute. Yahweh did not design humanity to live confused, dependent, or waiting for permission. Judgment in Enoch doesn't come from ignorance. It comes from refusing what has already been revealed. In modern application, okay, I'm going to make sure that I wrap this around the modern woman today, okay? So I'm really hoping that you can understand what I share and apply it to your own life today. When a woman stops trusting her discernment, when you stop trusting your instincts, systems begin to rule you. Fear replaces clarity. Comfort replaces responsibility. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to get real with people. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to give some pushback because what they're saying doesn't make sense. What they're asking you to do doesn't make sense. And so it's uncomfortable, okay? But you got to be responsible here, folks. Truth isn't hidden from you, it's being ignored. You're ignoring it. You already have the wisdom, you already have the power. You are a creator. Let's talk about the divine image equals responsibility, not status. Enoch and the Genesis alignment, okay? We're going to bring in some Genesis as well, all right? Don't feel bad. Enoch repeatedly warns the righteous is preserved not by belief, but by walking in wisdom. Do you feel like you're walking in wisdom? Or do you feel like you're just ignoring, not listening to your intuition, not gaining new information, new insight? Are you just like flowing? Whatever comes at me, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Waiting for instruction. Don't wait for instruction. Okay? That shows weakness. Ladies, if your husband is sitting around and waiting for instruction and not getting your home in order, we need to have a sit down with the husband and say, honey, we need to have a little come to Jesus meeting. Okay? He should be the leader. He should be the provider, the protector. And if he's not, we need to have a conversation with him. Okay? Not like bash him. You want to rise him up. You want to let him know that he's powerful, that he's a creator, that he can do big things, that he can make all the money he wants. There's no ceiling. What are we doing here, babe? Okay? Enoch 93, 8 through 10. The righteous endure because they act with wisdom. In Enoch, or 1 Enoch 94, 1 through 5, it says, condemnation is for those who knew better and chose otherwise. Yeah, we don't want to do that. When you know better, do better. Okay? This mirrors Genesis 1:26 through 27. Being made in God's image means stewardship and responsibility. You were born as a unique creator yourself. You have him in you. Okay? You were uniquely made. You have your own way, your own, but you know, your experience makes you unique. And he wanted that. It was all intentional. So you can share that with the world. What your uniqueness, what your experience is. It made you who you are today, which is such a gift, right? But it means that you need to be a steward of that. And you need to be responsible. Okay? Don't rely on your church leaders, the government, another man, another woman. Don't do that, okay? You gotta be responsible. Being created in God's image was never about privilege. It was about moral responsibility. Authority was never a passive statement. Authority, right? Here's some modern application. Make sure you stay through this because I'm going to give a real story from biblical times and apply it to today's woman, okay? If you were created with authority, silence is not humility, dependence is not obedience, and waiting is not faith. Being made in God's image means accountability, not entitlement. So what happens when you don't bring forth what's within? Here's Enoch's warning, okay? 1 Enoch 91, 8 through 11. It says, those who abandon wisdom collapse inwardly. It means you will become broke. That's why we have a broken society, because they've abandoned their own wisdom. They're going to get their wisdom from doctors, from church leaders, from the government, from welfare. It's kind of government, right? It is. From your 9 to 5 job. Okay. It's like you're just waiting for your next move. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? You're like you're the person that's needing just to be told everything. No, you're a creator. Don't abandon the wisdom that's already in you. And if you don't, that's why I learn something new every day. Okay, I suggest you do the same. I want you to learn something new every day. 1 Enoch 99, 1-3. Corruption increases when the truth is suppressed for comfort. How many people know there's corruption going on? How many people have stories, witness something, have experience, and they ignore the truth? You suppress the truth. Okay? Corruption. Our leaders, if they don't address everything that's going on, hold anyone accountable that's been part of it, corruption will increase. Okay? This aligns directly with early Joshua tradition. What is not brought forth does not remain neutral. Unexpected truth does not disappear. It decays inwardly. Personally, it decays either as us as people, generations after us. It erodes our society, our culture. Everything that we know is going to erode. It's going to create more anxiety for people, resentment, self-doubt, loss of confidence, dependence on external validation. We're seeing a lot of that. Okay? Women who often feel stuck, not because they don't know what to do, but because they refuse to honor what they already see. Honor what you see. Do you see that you're overweight when you look in the mirror? Okay, do you honor that? Do you take care of it? It's about responsibility. What are we doing? Okay. What you refuse to bring forth will eventually rule you. Okay. Women, discernment, and protection. This is the Enoch lens. Okay. Enoch reportedly condemns passive leadership. How many leaders do we have out there that know they need to do something, but you are passive about it? What the fuck are you waiting for? Huh? Enoch 97, 1-5, it says, woe to those who see injustice and do nothing. 1 Enoch 99, 7-9, it says, silence in the face of harm is counted as participation. Did you hear that? That's what I was talking about earlier. Silence in the face of harm. If you are being silent in the face of harm, you see it. You know what's happening. Whether it's the healthcare system, the school system, the government, society, the sex trafficking, the sex abuse in churches. Like, there's so much, okay? Silence in the face of harm is counted as participation. Can you imagine the people in some of these religious organizations, the leaders at the top that knew what was going on and chose not to bring in the authorities, that chose to handle it internally and not give these victims, I want to say they're survivors, not give them their voice. You silenced them and made them sign an NDA, which is bullshit. You're making them go the rest of their life in shame. I can get real passionate about that. Enoch makes something very clear. Seeing without acting is not righteousness. Discernment without responsibility is neglect. Women were given an intuition and clarity for a reason. How many people are like, I didn't hear the Holy Spirit tell me what to do? Stop relying on you already have it. It was given to you at birth. You didn't need to get baptized to have it. Holy cow, I just told you something new. Some people thought they had to get baptized to get the Holy Ghost. Can you believe that? That's what they told you. Crazy. You were given the intuition, the authority when you were born. Boom. All right? Here's the reason why you were: to protect, to guide, and steward life. Okay? God didn't give women intuition so they could ignore it. You were born with it. You were born a creator yourself. I bet women are just like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh. What this means for the modern woman in real life. When a woman ignores misalignment in her home, stays silent in systems that harm, minimizes what she knows, waits for permission to act, she slowly loses her confidence, her clarity, self-trust, and freedom. Faith, fire, and freedom will return when your inner order is restored. Truth is honored and responsibility is reclaimed. Oh, this is so much fire. I don't even know if you guys can handle this today. It's a Monday. You can handle it. We need to hear it, right? You were not created to be managed by fear, systems, and comfort, and that's what they've wanted to do. Okay? That's not what you were meant for. That's why it feels off. Maybe it doesn't feel off to you because it's all you know. You've been carrying down these beliefs from generations before you, and no one's told you the truth. They put fear in you to say, you don't have this unless you get baptized. You don't get these special... Guys, I've been through the temple, okay? I know what they say. They make you feel like you're not worthy unless you have this ordinance done. Or all these ordinances, right? You were created to see clearly, act wisely, steward life, protect what matters. Faith is not passive, freedom is not rebellion, and confidence is alignment. All right? Let me tell you a story, okay, before we say the prayer. This is so good, huh? So many women need to hear this message. It's just crazy, okay? I'm going to give you a story about Esther, like a real story. I could give you little tidbits on all of them, all the women, you know, well, many of them, but I'm just going to do Esther right now. In the Bible, I will say this, in the Bible, strong women noticed when something was wrong and didn't ignore it. When people ignore what they know is wrong, things usually get worse. When they act wisely, they help protect others. Can I get a mic drop? Every woman, here's another message, every woman in the Bible who changed history did it by refusing to ignore what they already knew. You already have it in you, ladies. I can't stress that enough, okay? The best thing you can do is walk with God. Don't listen to another man. Don't be dependent on a system. Don't be dependent on the government. Don't be dependent on the educational system. Just like completely disengage from that, okay? You have it in you, and you need to act accordingly. So walk with God, and he will help you along the way. Keep following me, and I'll help you too, okay? You got to find people that are giving you the information that you've never heard before, okay? That's the truth. I'm about the truth. Okay, here's a story about Esther. And I kind of shared this, but this one, we're going to go a little bit deeper on it. Esther didn't grow up dreaming of leadership, okay? She was a young Jewish girl living in exile under the Persian Empire. Her people were not in power. They were tolerated at best, vulnerable at worst. She had already lost her parents and was being raised by her cousin, Mordecai, who taught her to be careful, observant, and wise. When the king removed Queen Vashti, I hope that's the right way you say it, Vashti, for refusing to obey him publicly. So when the king removed Queen Vashti for refusing to obey him publicly, he was offended, right? So he was like, I'm removing you because you refuse to obey me publicly. His ego was there, right? The empire decided to replace her by gathering young women from across the land. Esther didn't volunteer. She was taken. She entered the palace without status, without protection, and without the freedom to reveal who she truly was. Mordecai warned her, "Don't tell them you're Jewish." Not because she was ashamed, but because exposure without power could be dangerous at that point. She didn't have the power yet. Esther learned how power worked by watching. She listened more than she spoke. She noticed who rushed, who waited, who postured, who panicked. She learned timing. She learned restraint. She learned how influence actually moves inside the system. Brilliant. Somehow, quietly, she became queen. Not because she demanded it, not because she campaigned, but because she carried composure in a chaotic environment. Okay, then the real test came. A man named Haman, I think, rose to power. Okay, this man came along, Haman, and rose to power. He was ambitious, offended easily, and obsessed with control. When Mordecai refused to bow to him, Haman didn't just get angry. He decided to eliminate Mordecai's entire people. He manipulated the king into approving a legal decree to destroy the Jews. It was official, written, signed, irreversible by normal means. When Mordecai learned what had happened, he sent word to Esther. Her first reaction wasn't brave. She wasn't feeling, oh, I'm brave, I'm going to go in and kick some ass. I'm going to go and straighten this out. It was fear. She reminded Mordecai that approaching the king uninvited could mean death, even for the queen. She had rules, limits, and consequences for her actions. This is important because Esther didn't pretend she wasn't afraid. She didn't spiritualize it anyway. And Mordecai didn't comfort her. Instead, he said something that changed everything. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you will escape. If you remain silent at this time, relief will arise from another place. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. That was the moment. Not a command, not a threat, the truth. Silence would not save her. Comfort was not protection. Position without responsibility was empty. Esther didn't rush in after that conversation. She paused. She fasted. She gathered herself. She aligned intentionally before acting externally. And this matters in this situation. Her courage was not impulsive. It was integrated. When she finally approached the king, she didn't accuse. She didn't expose everything at once. She didn't collapse emotionally. She invited, she waited, she revealed the truth at the right moment in the right order. When she finally spoke, it was clear and undeniable. Her people were at risk. The system had been manipulated. The cost was human lives, including her own. The king listened to her, and Haman was exposed, that little jerk. The decree was overturned through lawful means, and the people were protected. So here's what Esther actually teaches. The Esther story is not about being fearless. It's about refusing self-betrayal. So a lot of times we want to blame systems, our husbands, people, you know, we have all these people that are on welfare and they're like freaking out at the welfare system because they're like cracking down, right? So they want to just like blame all these outside things that they have become dependent on. Well, what happens really, folks, just to be real, is many times you've self-betrayed yourself because you didn't use your own wisdom, your own intuition to know, I don't want to be dependent on this system. Okay? Now there's some folks that need to be, you know, because they're in a situation, they're disabled, they're in a situation where they have to, you know, get those benefits because they're very, very limited. But if you are able to, you know, learn new things and skills and, you know, find your voice and stand up for what's right and all of these things, you can build your own, right? And that's the whole point. Like, if you're not doing that, then you're betraying yourself. So don't blame anyone else because you're just, they own you if you don't. You get it? Okay. So she teaches us that silence is not safety. Timing matters. Clarity beats chaos, and courage doesn't mean rushing. Responsibility often finds you before you feel ready. Esther didn't seek power, she accepted responsibility when it arrived. So let's talk about how this matters for women today. Okay, so modern women often face quieter versions, but the same experience. Okay, they know something is wrong, but they choose to stay silent. They see harm out there, but delay any action. It could be in your church and you see things that don't make sense. Or it could be with the government and you maybe your husband's giving you signals that something is different. But you delay action. You don't learn new skills. You don't prepare yourself. Okay. You don't have your own account, your own money, you know, you never know what can happen. Okay. Your husband could pass away tomorrow. There's no guarantees. So you have to put yourself in a position to where you can stand on your own 2 feet. Protecting comfort instead of truth. Hoping someone else will handle it. Okay. Esther shows us that ignoring what you know does not preserve peace. It postpones the reckoning. Okay, there's going to be a reckoning, and you're just postponing it. All right. I hope that helps. So if you are a modern woman, which you are, if you're listening to this, okay, Esther's story isn't just about politics and a palace or palace intrigue. Okay. It's about maternal leadership under uncertainty. She wasn't a mother in the biological sense, but she carried protective authority, the same kind mothers carry today. So motherhood is always requiring foresight. We have to plan ahead. Okay, a mother is often the first to sense when something feels off at home, when safety is threatened, when a system is changing, when silence is no longer protective. Okay, Esther felt that moment and she understood that preparation in an act of love, not fear. Esther didn't try to dominate her husband, the king. She didn't manipulate or shame him. What she did in that situation is she respected structure without submitting her conscience. Like she thought, you know, she still respected things. She didn't, you know, she had a conscience, okay? Spoke truth without aggression. Chose timing over force. This is critical for modern wives and partners. Esther shows that leadership in marriage isn't about control, it's about clarity. She teaches women you can honor your marriage and your discernment, your intuition, okay? You can be supportive without being silent. You can lead with wisdom and not panic. She didn't argue emotions, and she just revealed the reality. Okay, Esther as a household leader. Modern motherhood isn't lived in palaces, it's lived in kitchens, school drop-off lines, family budgets, medical decisions, crises, crisis moments no one plans for. Esther models something vital here. She didn't wait for disaster arrive to think. She gathered information. She assessed the risk. She aligned spiritually and mentally. She prepared internally and acted deliberately. For a modern mother, This could look like knowing where important documents are, understanding family finances, teaching children discernment, teaching children that they have an intuition. Okay, they're born with it. Okay, they teach them to use it. Preparing prepare emotionally for uncertainty, and not outsourcing your protection to systems alone. Preparation is not, you don't need to be all paranoid, all right? It's just leadership, it's just being a good steward of your home as a mother, as a wife. So, what if moments? So, Esther faced a moment she never planned for, a degree, a threat, a system turning dangerous overnight. Modern mothers face similar what if moments like job loss, economic shifts, illness, social unrest, institutional failure. And Esther shows us that you don't prepare because you're afraid. You prepare because others are depending on you. That goes for the men. All right? Esther didn't panic her people. She didn't broadcast fear. She didn't collapse emotionally. She stabilized herself first. That's maternal leadership, folks. Children don't need mothers who know everything. They need mothers who stay steady when things change. Esther's calm courage didn't just save lives, it modeled strength. So, what you can learn, moms, from this: intuition is not imagination. Okay, preparation is not fear. Silence is always peace. Silence is not always peace. Courage can be quiet. Leadership begins at home. She reminds us that waiting until something breaks is not wisdom. Esther didn't wait for certainty. Sometimes we're not going to be certain about everything, but she prepared with wisdom because people depended on her. And moms, I want you to know that that's the same for you. Okay, your children and generations after that, your children's children depend on you. Esther shows us how to lead calmly when the unexpected shows up. I love that message. I hope that you guys did too. Don't worry, I'm going to go back to the comments. Okay, here's a prayer. Yahweh, thank you for another day. Thank you for the breath in her lungs, for the wisdom you continue to provide, and for the clarity rising within her. Thank you for her family, for her growth happening even when it feels quiet, and for the strength you are building through responsibility. Thank you for the relationships in her life, for the opportunities already present, and for those unfolding in perfect timing. Thank you that she doesn't have to wait to matter. She is here for such a time as this. We honor her courage, her discernment, and that she is becoming. Amen. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, prosthetic. I love you right back. And I hope this touched someone. I hope this landed. If you know a woman, a mother that needs to hear this, a wife that needs to hear this, sometimes it's nice to go back and look at history and how these leaders in our history can help us, give us some insight on how to show up today and how to be a great leader today for our husbands, for our community, for our children, for the generation. We're instilling this in our children. And if you think that what you're sharing with your children today won't go lead into the next generation, you're wrong, because guess what? I'm seeing it unfold in real time. And I'm grateful for that. And I hope this helped you. And don't forget to subscribe to Tina Parker TV. And join me for tomorrow's show at Wake the Fuck Up Daily. Love you guys. Bye.